everybody, and welcome to our very first Nature of Forex Sunday weekly breakdown for the potential currency pairs that we're looking to trade this upcoming week. Let's first start off on Forex Factory to see of any news that could be coming up this week that we need to keep an eye out for and see how we can take advantage potentially on certain setups. So here we have election day in Canada here, federal election. That's on Monday. Tuesday, we have some high impact news for CAD and AUD, and as we know that these two pairs, AUDUSD and USDCAD, they invert correlate. Crude oils, which is going to affect USDCAD. We have a little bit of Euro news on Thursday. Lots of Euro news. Pretty much from the London Open here, 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. All day long, lots of Euro news, and then that's about it. It looks like. So these are the main news that I like to look at. So the Euro, the CAD, and a little bit of AUD, and every week there's usually a little bit of USD news as well. So let's start on GBPJPY. For any of you just joining us, or for anybody that is new and hasn't been following along fundamentals, we all know that Brexit's going to happen, so this is going to affect a lot of GBP pairs. Right now on GJ, I'm on the weekly time frame. We have this weekly level here. It tapped into it, so we're going to see if we're going to have a rejection here. Since this is a weekly level, we could potentially come down before potentially pushing up. We have been very bullish on the days. However, you can see we're starting to slow down here, right? So what I would like to do is get my Fibonacci and go from my bearish candle to my bearish candle. Probably this one right here. First lower high right here, around here, and we can see, or even drag it up to this, the highest point bearish candle to this lowest point bearish candle. We can see it lines up with 61.8 golden ratio right at our weekly level. Now if we drop down to the daily time frame and we understand that this is our weekly fib, we can start to see how it's starting to struggle at this level and could be causing a lot of false moves. The pound could potentially drop. We're starting to see some slow down in the market, right? So, and we have been bullish for quite some bit. We're going to need a little bit of a change in the market momentum. And as we can see here, struggling on the H4. So and I am particularly looking into potential reversals around this level, and potential break of this trend line to come back down the other way. Lots of exhaustion here with all kind of news and dealings going on with the pound, so we'll have to definitely wait for it to set up. AUDUSD, we are bullish. This is a trade that we've been holding for over the weekend. We've been monitoring this trade. It gave us a 7-to-1 risk reward here. And we just caught this trade from the weekly level. We could see lots of exhaustion, bullish engulfing, a lot of exhaustion down here and rejection. On the daily, we broke a daily trend line here, as well as had a beautiful exhaustion candle on this daily fib, going from the bullish low point right here to this bullish high point. You can see a 61.8 golden ratio rejection, and the 61.8 target lines up with our weekly key level right here. Let's get rid of this daily level. So knowing that we have the 61.8 here, we just dropped down smaller time frames, and we just noticed that here we started to have bullish engulfing, so some momentum came in. And I believe we got the entry from the 1 hour. We could definitely see here how price began to just slow down. Somewhere just after this candle, I just seen all these bullish candles, exhaustion. These are maintaining this level of structure as the low point, as none of the candles are being broken under. They keep closing back above. So we got in around just after this candle, somewhere on this candle. And it's been playing out ever since. We're holding it to try to get our pip goal of 100 pips. We are now currently sitting risk-free, by the way, around 90 something pips. The stop loss was our initial. We were risking 15 pips on AUD. So looking for this to go bullish, potentially slow down at this weekly level and create a new higher low. And we can see here potential trend line being formed as a healthy trend could be developing. Likewise, USDCAD, we did end up closing, but the same, we're just going the opposite direction on this trade. Risk-free as well. This trade right now is sitting around 90 pips. We've closed out of this trade at around 80. But we can see here the daily, the structure, trying to break, closed back above. The next day, closed back below. This is the day we got in on, where when it spiked back up, we jumped in somewhere around here from the slowdown of the market. We can see the market just struggling, slowing down. We had a stop way above here before we got some fundamental news come in, and then the market just began to turn over. Put our stops at break even, never got taken out over here, close, and then continued push, came down. And then on the daily, pushed all the way up, was rejected, so we knew that the next day would continue back down, and right now it's falling probably all the way to this potentially weekly trend line that lines up with this key level right here. Moving on to GBPUSD, same thing. Gotta watch out for the pound news with all of this Brexit stuff. The weekly closed very strong bullish. We're at this monthly level coming up here. On the monthly time frame, could potentially be a massive double bottom, and the pound could strike up. However, I do think that there could be a monthly fib here. We are around that 61 area as well. So knowing that, this weekly could reject from here and pop back down. It all depends on what's going on with Brexit voting. Here's the euro on the weekly time frame. We can see we were in this channel. We struggled to break these lows here, weekly time frame. We were looking for opportunities around this area to go long. Never executed, but definitely almost 200 pips there. As you can see here, H4 structure, this higher low was never broken. It kept on being tested and eventually rejected. Now we believe that this week we're going to need a little bit of a pullback before potentially going up strong. Lots of euro news, so this could definitely affect the euro. The weekly closed very strong bullish. I do expect a little bit of a push down before heading back up for the euro. EURJPY, it looks like it's making a run to the upside. We see a nice downtrend, potentially double top. I do expect euro to come back down, retest before potentially pushing back up and creating a new higher low. And that's with all this news coming. Trade opportunity, we did not capitalize on this one, but daily structure right here, you can see the new higher low was made. It was never broken. Lots of fakes out manipulations on lower time frame. Here are these spikes and a push to the upside. You can definitely also go off of here to get that daily inverted head and shoulders. We have been pushing down quite a bit. We had the inverted head and shoulders, lower time frame, bullish engulfing right here, bullish engulfing pattern over here, signalizing, letting us know that this could go for a little bit of a run. Entered around here, easy, almost 100 pip trade. To catch it down here would definitely on smaller time frames using the inverted head and shoulders. Drop to the 1 hour, definitely can see some sort of slow down in the market. You know that this is the H4 inverted head and shoulders, big bullish burst, but all this slowdown should signalizing pin bars to the downside, should gives us a signal that this is about to reverse direction. Definitely could have entered somewhere around in here, and you're off to the races. Going for 140 pips. To add more confluence back on the daily time frame, you're going from bullish candle to the highest bullish candle that was reached, and then the retracement, as you can see, just pure rejections at this daily fib. On the lower time frames, we keep closing above 61.8, and we did meet our first target. So what I see on NZD USD, again, potentially a little pullback first before heading back up. On the weekly, we need to make a proper lower high, I believe. We keep sitting at 23.6 retracements, which signalize continuation, but we do have a lot of rejection here and this monthly level. So I believe this might pull back a bit before continuing, potentially coming up around this weekly level, which is our 38.2 fib, before pushing back down. USDJPY, we do have this gap up here that hasn't been filled in some time. Strong week last 2 weeks ago, and then today last week we just stalled. Seems like we have an inverted head and shoulders here. We came down to these yearly lows and just bounced right off of it. With this doji sitting here, I think this next week might push down if we have some rejection of this weekly level of 108. Might push back up. If not, we could sink and come back down lower. On the daily time frame, it looks like it tapped into this daily region here of exhaustion before dipping back down. Also on the daily time frame, this daily higher low has been respected. It's never broken. So I am now looking for a new higher low to potentially push up, or another rejection from this area to come back down. Lastly, gold. Gold's been just kind of ranging around this 1500 region this whole week. There was a setup last week or earlier on this week for a drop, and it looks like it could continue to go down. However, it's just taking its time. As you can see, just going sideways between 1500 and 1475.
Hey everybody, hope you guys enjoyed the weekly breakdown done by Andy this week here at Nature of Forex. We're going to be doing weekly breakdown videos every Sunday, so be sure to subscribe to the channel for the future content and like the video to support us. Make sure you catch some pips this week.